If this coronavirus, self-isolation and being at home all week has taught me anything, it's that you were wrong. I definitely haven't got too much porn. Word to your isolating mother. My name's Steve, this channel is Fragdicted. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are in the world, and I hope you're safe and well. So today I'm going to be reviewing an Alexandria Fragrances fragrance. Feels like I've been doing a lot of those lately, what with the Monday video being a first impressions, but this is actually like a full review. I was planning on doing this weeks and weeks ago before I started that mini-series, so this is not like an Alexandria kind of channel before you kind of start panicking and shitting yourself and unsubscribe or anything like that. It just so happens that I've really wanted this fragrance, so I've ordered it and got the original, and I'm doing a full review and a comparison. So the fragrance I'm reviewing today is Alexandria Fragrances Interplay Extrait. So this is a clone of the infamous Baccarat Rouge 540. Now the notes breakdown on this Alexandria version: at the top you'll get some bitter almond, some saffron, and in the mids there's some cedar, along with some jasmine, and in the base there's some ambergris, some woody notes, and some musk. Now this fragrance is a fragrance that I struggle to describe, but fortunately most of you have smelt Baccarat Rouge 540. It is like just infamous in the community, and it's often used as some sort of yardstick with regards to just quality and likability, etc. Now it is just a kind of sweet, it's not too sweet, as I say, I really struggle to describe this. It's kind of like a sweet kind of resinous, slightly woody fragrance with the sort of jasmine and in there as well, and the ambergris gives it this kind of slightly soft, pleasant sort of powderiness. You can see I really struggle to describe this fragrance, but I do really like it. That said, I don't actually, almond is one of those notes that I don't really particularly enjoy in a lot of fragrances, but I don't really get that much almond out of this. It's not one that particularly stands out to me. I wouldn't actually pick it out. I wouldn't say it's a prominent note, and it certainly doesn't put me off. As I say, it's a note that I don't really enjoy, but it's not an issue for me in this fragrance. So for the testing, I did my usual. I got a sample from fragrancesamplesuk.com, not sponsored, I just always give them a shout out because that's where I get my samples from. I wore the original on one arm and the Alexandria version on another arm, and I did that for several days. I applied them obviously at the same time in the morning to test kind of their performance and their longevity. Now, as I said, what I get from this fragrance is a sweet, floral, kind of resinous, woody kind of fragrance. I don't get much almond, and yeah, it's just a really well blended, nice, enjoyable fragrance. I can see why it's just so mass appealing. Now, testing wise, for the differences, in the opening, I would say the Alexandria one is probably about 85% similar in the opening. I would say in the opening it is a little bit kind of deeper and richer, probably slightly woodier. Now I wouldn't say this is a woody fragrance. It's not the first adjective I would use to describe it. In fact, I struggle to find any adjectives to describe it, as you saw earlier in the video. But woody isn't one that sort of leaps out at me. I don't kind of smell it and go, wow, that's really woody. But I would say the opening is kind of a bit sort of deeper and richer, and so probably it is like the cedar or the sort of woods that kind of give it a little bit more of a, because it comes across, certainly in the first, even up to an hour, probably the first 30 minutes at least, 30 to 45 minutes in that sort of opening period, the Alexandria fragrance one comes across as slightly more masculine. Now, I emphasise that these are both very much unisex fragrances. On the whole spectrum of kind of feminine, unisex, masculine, they both float around in the middle there as unisex completely. But what I would say is the original on that spectrum is probably slightly a little bit towards the feminine side, and the Alexandria just brings it a few notches kind of towards the masculine side because it is a little bit deeper and richer. So I think it just adds just a bit more masculinity to the fragrance, but it's still very much unisex without a doubt. After about 45 minutes to an hour, the fragrances become even closer in their scent. I would say there's about a 95% similarity. I would say the Alexandria one does still remain a little bit richer, a bit deeper, and maybe slightly sweeter if anything, but it's very close. And for that reason, it still does remain slightly more masculine, but I'm not saying it's a masculine fragrance. I'd just say, again, on that spectrum, it's a little bit more masculine than the original. And it is a lot more kind of, I wouldn't say a lot more, it is more prominent. It does kind of, it's a little bit stronger. The original is very ethereal and light to me, and a bit kind of sort of floaty, and it is a bit deceptive. It's not a beast projector, the original, but you do kind of get whiffs of it. It does kind of hang around. And the Alexandria one kind of takes that performance and does kind of boost it a little bit, but not massively so. I get for both fragrances about an hour of kind of reasonable projection, hour to maybe 2 hours of reasonable projection, but I would say the Alexandria one was just a bit more noticeable and stronger, and the wife agreed. I asked her for, you know, which one she preferred, or, you know, what did she think, and she said they smell the same, but that one's stronger, and that was the Alexandria version. Longevity wise, they both had quite similar performance of about 5 to 6 hours. The original probably closer to 5 hours, and the Alexandria version closer to 6. So not massive difference in there, but the Alexandria one was, as I say, because it's a bit deeper and richer, it's just a little bit more prominent and a bit stronger in its presence. But again, it's not a beast mode fragrance. So kind of compliments and reactions wise, I asked the wife what she thought, and she just kept saying that it's reminded her of biscuits. She just said like a sweet biscuit, biscuity. She used the word biscuit about 1 million times. So clearly it's biscuity to her for some reason. I don't know if she's maybe getting sort of the almond more than I am. I don't know, just to give her that slightly gourmandish sort of kind of vibe. I don't know, I don't really get that. It is a kind of a subtle, pleasant sweetness that I get from this fragrance. Other than that, I didn't really get much else feedback. I didn't get to wear it in the office or anything like that. But it is a fragrance that certainly hangs around all day, so you probably will get noticed if you're in closer quarters, I would say. So my overall verdict on this fragrance is a positive one. It's a really nice fragrance, as most of you know, which is why it always gets used as a sort of yardstick in the community. The Alexandria fragrance one smells really good. They've taken the original DNA, and it's certainly really similar, especially once it's dried down. And they've given it a little bit of a boost. It's a little bit kind of a bit richer and a bit more kind of prominent, but I wouldn't say the performance is massively improved, but it is better and it's a lot cheaper, so it's a bit of a no-brainer in that regard. The only thing I would say, as much as I really genuinely enjoy this fragrance, it's easy to wear. You can wear it in pretty much any situation. The only time I wouldn't wear it is in high heat. Other than that, it's any situation, any season, and any gender, because it is perfectly unisex. So as much as I do enjoy wearing this, and I will happily wear it, it's not a fragrance that I would say, I wouldn't put it in my like top 10 or anything like that. It's not one that I absolutely love and really, really excites me. Royal Equestrian from Alexandria is probably my favourite still from the house. I absolutely love that one, and I get excited and I enjoy wearing that one, like genuinely. I just love that fragrance. And the one I discovered recently, their clone of Bergamot 22, which is called Sparkling Bergamot. I, again, really enjoyed that one. You could see from my first impressions video that just really sparked my interest. Where this one, when I smelt it, I was like, yeah, it's really nice, but it just didn't kind of just blow me away for whatever reason. I don't know. Perhaps part of that is the sort of relatively close wearing. I don't know, but I do recommend it still because it is a great fragrance, and compared to the original, it's cheaper and it performs better, so it's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? So there you go, Alexandria Fragrances version of Baccarat Rouge 540, their Interplay Extrait, is a cheaper alternative that has slightly better performance, so I can wholeheartedly recommend it. Now, what I will do is link to a video below that I filmed with Tony from the channel Fragdicted. Now, he got me to blind test some Baccarat Rouge 540 clones. Now, this Alexandria version wasn't in that video. Now, I did pick one. I won't kind of do a spoiler, so you're gonna have to watch the video to find out. I did pick my favorite from that list, and I would say this certainly is comparable or as good, if not better, than that version. So I would say look at the two and see kind of which one floats your boat more. But I couldn't tell you exactly which one is best because it's too long ago kind of from filming that video. But this one is certainly as good, if not better, from memory. So the only other thing to say before I love you and leave you is down below you will find an affiliate link to Alexandria Fragrances website. Now what happens if you click on that link, it takes you through to their website and you shop as normal and you don't see any difference. But basically I then get a small percentage commission on kind of what you spend. Now, if you don't want me to have that, just don't click on the link, just go there and shop as normal. But if you found this or any of my other videos helpful and you think, oh, that's a little way of giving Steve something back, then click on the link. Now, if you think that having that link in my video description or kind of getting that commission makes me a shill or untrustworthy, all I would say is go and watch some of my other Alexandria videos, because I've not always been as complimentary as I have been today. Some of them I've categorically said I didn't particularly enjoy or I wouldn't buy myself. So I can't say any fairer than that, really, to be honest. So that's it, nothing more for me to say other than thank you for watching. If you haven't already done so, do please hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you for the next video. Take care, much love.